Fortunately, it didn't take too long for me to get down to the cafeteria and get lunch. As soon as I paid for my meal, I went outside to find a seat. After looking around for a few minutes, I spot Shiro on one of the benches at the side of the school.
Hey, Michael.
Oh, hey Shiro. Figuring that I don't really know where else to sit, I decide to grab a seat next to Shiro. Fancy seeing you here. I'm a little surprised you picked something a little...
secluded?
I guess that's one way of putting it.
I like to be alone. This is what I consider to be my me time.
Yeah, I can understand that. I tend to get tired of people myself.
My thoughts exactly. So, you ready to try this little slop?
I carefully pick up my lunch tray and examine the food I'd just bought. The good thing is it looks like actual food, so I suppose it's already exceeding expectations. It's a ham sandwich with fries, applesauce, and some milk. How bad is it?
Like I said, it's not great, but it won't kill you either.
Well then, I nervously gulp as I take the sandwich in one hand and carefully take a small bite out of this toasted mystery.
It's not bad, right?
Well, it's not the worst I've ever had. Overall, the food pretty much met Shiro's description. I've definitely had better, but it's not the worst thing I've ever had. It's pretty comparable to how the food was at my last school now that I think about it. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could ever be bad as that sketchy barbecue place I went to as a kid with my dad. It'd be as bad.
So, how were your other classes?
They were alright, I guess. Not as great as Hara's, though.
I told you he was awesome.
Yeah, he's alright. But I still have a few more classes to go, so who knows?
Yeah, you never know. By the way, I wanted to ask you something.
Shiro says as I drink my carton of strawberry milk.
You remember how I said that I was a member of the anime club?
Yeah?
Well, we do have a meeting today after school to discuss our plans for the year. If you want, you can drop by and check us out. I know you said you wanted to see what was out there first, but I thought I'd ask since I know you're interested in anime.
I wasn't planning on joining a club so soon, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to check it out at least. Yeah, I'll drop by. I probably won't make a decision to join today, but we'll see. Shiro almost jumps off of the bench in excitement.
Wow, really? That's awesome. I promise I won't disappoint you.
Like my dad. What was that, Shiro? What were you saying there?
Yeah, like my dad.
Shiro repeatedly fist pumps the air in celebration, which I can't help but laugh at just a little bit. Alright, settle down, man. Yeah, settle down, fat ass, said somebody. You don't want to upset your lunch date. What the?
Oh, great.
I look up to see two guys standing in front of us, smiling with malicious intent. One of them is a tall, burly gentleman with short, spiky brown hair and a well-groomed beard. If it wasn't for his uniform, I would have thought he was a college student. Taking another look at him, I figure this guy must be on one of the sports teams. His biceps are nearly bulging out of his sleeves. The other student with him, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. He is much more scrawny and thinly built, with his striking features being his glasses and red hair.
Not you guys again. Long time no see, Shiro. You still with the same as ever.
Shiro uncomfortably shifts in his seat as he looks away, presumably for other places to sit. I take it these guys aren't Shiro's friends. I'm sorry. Who are you supposed to be? I turn to Shiro, who's looking away with eyes shut and red-faced. I then turn back to face the guys in front of us. The ginger kid then focuses his eyes on me, a surprised expression on his face.
You're joking, right? Because if you are, you know what that means.
The taller student cracks his knuckles. I can't tell if they're just kidding or they're really about to hurt us. I try to mutter something out to defuse the situation. I'm new here. Both of the students turn to face us, their devious smiles disappearing into an almost understanding sort of look. Is this, like, the jock guy? I don't know. I guess it is the jock. That explains a lot.
Get lost, Shiro. I'm going to talk to our new friend here. You can't tell me what to do, jerk face.
The taller student cracks his knuckles again as he takes a step forward, but the smaller one raises his hand to stop him from going any further. My god, this is a large hand. Shiro, taking the hint, takes his lunch and moves to a nearby table out of earshot. I can tell he's red-faced and on the verge of tears. What was that about?
Let me level with you for a minute. I get that you're new, you really don't understand how things really work around here yet. That's all fine, but you really need to understand how things work around here. Fast.
Oh wait, no, this is the nerd talking.
So I'm going to help you get started. I'm going to give you some friendly advice and give you the lay of the land here.
Friendly advice? Oh.
Yeah, so pay attention. First of all, I'm Card. This is Randy.
I look up to face Randy, but he just grunts at me. Uncomfortable, I turn back to Kai, meeting his ice-cold stare. Pleasure to meet you. I guess.
Likewise.
He says with an eerie tone as his creepy grin returns. However, he quickly drops it and reverts back to an ice-cold stare.
Now, Randy and I are kind of a big deal around here. I don't want to brag, but the student council and professional staff were quite fond of us. I also happen to have won the school's science fair last year. That waste of space over there was my competition.
He points to Shiro, who still has his head down at his table. So, what's this got to do with me? If you got beef with him, I don't want to be a part of that.
There's more to it than that. But all you need to know about good old Shiro over there is that no one here likes him. He's annoying.
Fat.
He's obnoxious. And he's creepy as hell. Dude, he tries to hit on every girl that has big tits and he fails every time. It'd be hilarious if it wasn't so pathetic. And then what's even sadder, he keeps harassing them.
You almost got expelled for that.
No, that was the other thing.
What other thing? Kai shares a creepy smile with Randy before turning back to me.
I don't know, man. It's pretty messed up and I'd hate to ruin your first day here.
Randy nods as he gestures back over to Shiro. He's just a guy who I met on the train.
Well, you should know that he hasn't talked to anyone since last semester. He's an outcast. Someone, and to this day no one knows who, found that he wrote this really...
Kai makes a gagging sound, but I can't tell if he's faking it or not.
He wrote this really weird fan fiction about some other girl he was crushing on. And then he had the audacity to post it all over the school. He nearly got expelled for it. I don't know why he didn't.
Yeah, we've been calling him out on it.
Well, nobody's told me that.
Because nobody knows who you are, yet. But if you continue to hang around him, trust me, people will know what kind of person you are. If you want my advice, stay away from Shiro. If you don't, well, you'll wish you did.
I can't even believe what I'm hearing. Did Shiro really do that? I look over at him once more. He hasn't moved a muscle since I last looked. I'll confront him about this.
You can try, but he'll deny it.
Do you have the thing with you?
Nobody does. The principal made sure that all the copies ended up in the trash and that everyone took down their pictures of it online. But it was his handwriting, and those who choose to talk to him pretty much corroborated the story.
Well, what you're telling me is pretty sketchy. Kai shrugs his arms.
You're entitled to your opinion, but those are the facts. But heed my warning, stay away from Shiro or you'll regret it. See you around.
Kai pats me on the shoulder, though it felt like I was getting touched by some grimy skeleton. Both Kai and Randy get off the bench and leave, though not before Randy turns around and gives me hawk eyes. I flipped both of them off when they had their backs turned. Once they were gone, I go over to Shiro. I take a seat next to Shiro, who's staring solemnly at the ground. Hey,
I assume they told you.
Shiro looks up with pain in his eyes. Is there any truth to what they said?
No!
Shiro shouts, which briefly grabs the attention of a few nearby tables, though they quickly go back to eating. That's a little defensive, Shiro.
Everything they told you was a lie.
So there wasn't a fan fiction or anything like that?
There was, but I didn't write it. I got framed for it. And sadly, people believed the bullshit that those jerks spread.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't think that what they were telling me was true. Shiro manages a small smile. What does Kai have against you? Shiro lets out a sigh.
It's complicated, and honestly, I don't feel like explaining it all now. But the short version is he's just a guy who takes everything seriously. He's a jerk, rotten to the core. He was in my science class back in middle school, and he apparently found it offensive that I had an intellect that rivaled his. So he started picking on me. At first, it was just cheap insults like, you're fat, or you're stupid. Really minor stuff that I brushed off at first, but he's kept at it over the last few years. Eventually, things got really nasty, and he pretty much framed me for something I never did. The only reason I didn't get expelled is because the school couldn't prove that I wrote it. They never found out who, but I'm pretty sure it was Kai the whole time.
Wow, that's messed up. I believe you. For now, at least. I think Shiro is being a little too defensive, but he's been dealing with this for so long that it's kind of understandable. Also, what Kai is saying is a bit of a stretch.
You do?
Yeah, it seems like something he'd do. I don't know what his problem is.
No one really does. He might act like he's the king of the school, but no one really likes him. I'm just one of the dozens he's targeted for harassment and abuse since middle school.
What about Randy?
He's just some typical jock with no brains. He did Kai a favor once, and now they're best friends or something. He's one of our school's star football players, and Kai won his big science fair last year that earns the school a lot of prestige. They're minor celebrities who let their fame go to their heads big time.
I get you. Have you ever considered going to the guidance counselor about all this?
Ha, they're useless. Besides, they're not going to dare punish their star science student or one of their best football players. It'd tarnish the school's reputation, and that's all they care about at the end of the day. Not even the student council will take any action against Kai and his buddies. Rumor has it he helped get the guys in charge elected by helping scare off any real competition for them.
Jeez, my old school didn't have it that bad.
Well, this isn't your old school anymore.
Yeah, best thing we can do is just ignore them.
That's what I've been trying to do. I haven't had them or any of their schmucks in any of my classes, thankfully.
Well, that's good. I guess in the coming days I'll know who to avoid.
Yeah, you will. Anyways, this food isn't going to eat itself. Let's not let those jerks ruin our lunch.
My thoughts exactly. Shiro and I walked back to the bench we were sitting on before Kai and Randy showed up to finish eating our lunch. The rest of our lunch period and my next classes continued on without drama. There was a few times where I thought somebody was staring at me, but I think it was just me being anxious. Nobody came up to me to talk about Shiro. Matter of fact, I didn't have any negative interactions with anyone since we ran into Kai and Randy. The more I think of it, they were just probably trying to be intimidating. It sucks that Shiro's been putting up with them for so long. Well, I'm sure him seeing me at the anime club will lift his spirits. I was sure to text Mom to let her know I'll be home later than expected. Naturally, she encouraged me to join the club right there and then. Honestly, if they prove to be a good group, I might. I got my hands on a list of the clubs during one of my classes, and I can't say I was blown away with the choices. But who knows, maybe I'll be surprised. The final school bell rings and the teacher subsequently dismisses us. I pack up my things and head for the 5th floor. As I was heading to the 5th floor, I got a text from Shiro saying he's already at the clubroom and that I'm free to come in. After walking to the end of the hall, I find room 501 to find the door already open. I take a deep breath and slowly enter the room. I walk into the clubroom to find Shiro talking with 2 girls who I presume are also members of the anime club. Hey! I wave to Shiro.
Michael, there you are.
He walks over to shake my hand.
Thank you so much for coming. I was telling Kaylee here all about you.
The one who I assumed to be Kayla steps forward.
Pleased to meet you, Michael. I'm the president of the anime club. Thanks for checking us out.
No problem, I say with a warm smile. I look over to the other girl.
And this here's my trusted vice president and best friend, Ruby.
She smiles as she introduces Ruby the way an announcer would introduce a supermodel.
Hey, Michael, I think I've seen you around.
Yeah, you might have. I'm new here, so I'm still trying to figure out where everything is. So if I was walking around looking clueless, that's why. Ruby laughs at my jab at humor.
Hey, it's okay. I think we were all like that at some point. Are you liking your stay here?
So far, it's alright.
Even despite Kai and Randy?
I take it Shiro must have told him about what happened at lunch earlier. They're interesting, to say the least.
Don't get me started on those jerks. The only other person who has managed to piss me off more was Natsuki.
Who's Natsuki? I look to Shiro for an answer, but he just looks away, nervously laughing. I then turn to Kayla, who looks like she's about to go on a full-fledged rant, but Ruby steps in before she can open her mouth.
Oh, never mind her. She was just a former member of our club, that's all. Anyways, enough about them. Why don't we get started?
She says with a slight nudge to Kayla.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Kayla, Ruby, and Shiro begin arranging desks at the center of the room. I pull up my own desk to join them.
So, Michael, what got you interested in our club?
Everyone looks at me eagerly, awaiting my answer. Well, I've been into anime for a while now, and Shiro was literally the first person I met today. He mentioned it to me, and I figured I'd check you guys out. I look at each of them one by one as they smile and nod in approval.
Well, if you like anime, you'll definitely like it here. Should you want to join, I understand you're looking at other options.
Well, this is the first club I've checked out, and so far nothing else has jumped out at me.
I get you. Well, we can't start signing up members officially until next week, when everyone holds their interest meeting. Stupid student council rules. Otherwise, I'd love to sign you up now. But if we can secure your commitment to join, Shiro can help sign you up once the form is available.
Yeah, it's essentially a quick trip to the office. I sign something, you sign something, and we're all good.
I see. Is there anyone else in the club, or is it just you guys?
It's just us for right now. A few of our members graduated last year, and I was chosen to lead the club for this year. Every club needs at least 4 members to gain official status, so having you would be great.
I understand. So we just watch anime and talk about it?
Yeah, pretty much. We also play some anime-themed video games from time to time, as well as when we're able to bring a console in here. Like one time we all played Attack on Titan together.
Oh my god, I love Attack on Titan!
Sie sind das Essen und wir sind die Jäger.
Ruby and I get up and high-five each other. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Shiro lean in to whisper something to Kayla, though I'm not able to make it out entirely.
See what I tell you, Kayla. Michael's an awesome dude.
He's definitely not Natsuki, that's for sure.
Ha, well, he isn't one to cause drama. And he didn't buy Kai's crap either.
Kayla looks over to Michael, a welcoming smile forms across her face.
I think he'll be a great addition to the club. Make sure you sign him up next week.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Shiro jokingly salutes to Kayla, which causes her to lightly punch him in the arm. Michael and Ruby then sit back down in their seats.
See, I was right that you two would get along.
Did I ever doubt you?
Shiro shrugs his shoulders as Ruby playfully rolls her eyes.
Ah, dude. Michael, please tell me you're not a joker like him.
No, I'm afraid I'm much worse, I say with my most devious smile.
Looks like I'm going to have to double my tolerance for Shiro's bad jokes. You better triple.
Wait, Kai? No, it's clearly Kayla saying it though. Well, I got it.
You better triple it. I know how much you love it when the boys make jokes, Ruby.
More like the boys love me.
Ruby says under her breath. Shiro, Kayla, and I share a collective laugh at Ruby's expense before composing ourselves.
Anyways, what do you say, Michael? Are you in or out?
I take a moment to consider Ruby's proposition. I mean, this seems like my type of crowd. It's something I have to give thought to. And considering that there's really nothing else appealing out there at the moment, I figure it wouldn't hurt to join these guys. I think I'll join you guys. One by one, Shiro, Kayla, and Ruby's eyes light up with excitement.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome aboard the Saint Anime Express.
And Ruby says as she does her impression of the Attack on Titan salute, which is pretty spot on.
I think you're going to like it here, Michael. All you have to do is sign the forum next week and attend our meetings.
Sign the forum? You mean sign the forum? You attend a forum. You don't sign a forum.
We won't be doing much this week as we're getting everything ready for our interest meeting, which will be next Monday. But after that, we'll get the ball rolling on club activities. We got some big things coming up, especially with the festival right around the corner.
Sounds awesome. I can't wait. Kayla smiles as she stands up to address the club.
Alright guys, I think that's all for today. Great exec board meeting.
Everyone stands up and begins packing their things.
Hey, Michael, you want to catch the train together?
Nah, I'm gonna walk home. The weather's pretty nice out. I'll catch up to you tomorrow.
Laters.
Shiro and I smile to each other as we walk out the door and head our separate ways. As I'm walking in the late afternoon sunshine, feeling the early autumn breeze blow gently on my face, I reflect on my first day of school. I definitely got more than what I bargained for. I got to meet 3 pretty decent people, Kayla, Ruby, and Shiro. Then there's Sam. I'm not entirely sure why I'm drawn to her. Is she reminding me of someone? I can't describe it, but I feel some sort of connection with her. It's a shame we only have one class together, though. Granted, I didn't scour the cafeteria to see if I had the same lunch as her. Ah, whatever. I keep walking along, enjoying the cool breeze with every step I take. Today was something indeed.